Countless champions have been crowned throughout the history of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! But what about the underdogs, the dark horses, the decks that upon first glance make you question everything you thought you knew about the game? In this series, both MBT and myself will be showcasing some of Yu-Gi-Oh's wackiest unsung heroes. Each episode will feature new decks, new strategies, and the results will be unpredictable. You've seen the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! But this is the history of Jank. If you want 5% off any singles or sealed product, click the affiliate links in the description and use code Cimoooooooo5. And clicking the TCG Player affiliate link before you shop helps support us to provide you with more amazing content.
Got a weird one for you today, gamers. Just like a couple of weeks ago when we played number 95 Dark Matter Dragon Rulers, today we are playing a History of Jank deck that's actually quite strong. As noted in that last video, a deck can be jank-worthy for a number of reasons. Maybe it was the 6th or 7th best deck in its associated meta. Maybe it was a very specific anti-metagame strategy. Maybe its entire archetype is dogshit. Like in the case of Blue-Blooded Oni, it is secretly a top-tier deck that no one really plays. So what exactly are we looking at here? Well, mostly this card, Blue-Blooded Oni, which, once per turn, can detach an Xyz material you control to special summon a level 4 zombie-type monster from your graveyard. This card, though it may not look it, enables some of the most convoluted and frustrating FTKs in the game's history. Now keep in mind that this deck was playable for a very specific time, and the extra deck should clue you into what time we're talking about. 3 Laval Chain is absolutely mandatory to make this deck tick, but so is 3 Daigusto Emerald, so is 3 Armageddonite, so is an availability of cards like Reinforcement of the Army, Instant Fusion, and Upstart Goblin, and so is the ability to take 2 or 3 turns to find what should be an FTK, because decks, while putting up gummy board states, aren't interacting as much as they do in the modern era. So what's the gist of the strategy? Well, any scenario where you can find access to Armageddonite enables an unbelievable combo. You can use the Armageddonite to get a copy of Summoner Monk into the graveyard. If you've got a Black Garden on your side of the field, you can then tribute the token on your opponent's side of the field and the Black Garden for the Summoner Monk, then Summoner Monk for Summoner Monk, and Summoner Monk for Blue-Blooded Oni. From here, you can overlay 2 of those Summoner Monks for Laval Chain and send a Blue-Blooded Oni to the graveyard, and from here you have won the game. Using Blue-Blooded Oni, you can start a loop, detaching an Xyz material from Laval Chain to summon a Blue-Blooded Oni from the graveyard, and using any 2 spent Blue-Blooded Oni on Laval Chain, using cards like Daigusto Emerald in order to shuffle them back into the deck when they go to the graveyard, and cards like number F0 Utopic Future to get spent Laval Chain into material that a Blue-Blooded Oni can conceivably send to the graveyard in order to cycle more copies of itself. It's an exceptionally convoluted combo. If you go to either YG Organization or an old Cimo video, you can see the loop demonstrated, and it is no joke, about 90 different steps, each of which is subdivided into a small, internally consistent loop that you refer to over and over again over the course of the game. It was all about getting to a similar board state as a starting point for an additional loop, and then performing a loop described further on the page in order to advance said game state. The short of it is, by looping Blue-Blooded Onis, Laval Chains, Emeralds, F-Zeros, Zombie Masters, and Mizukis, you could draw your entire deck. And from that position, it's pretty easy to win the game. Here we've got a number of options. You can either use Evil Swarm Ouroboros to send your opponent's entire hand to the graveyard, then banish it from the graveyard by cycling it as well, or more realistically, you can end the game on the spot by using Instant Fusion to make Camion Wizard, which is a spellcaster, synchro summoning a copy of Tempest Magician using it and a Plague Spreader, and then pitching your entire hand and doming your opponent for a quadrillion damage. This sounds like YouTube combo nonsense, but when you recognize that it's occurring during a period in Yu-Gi-Oh's history where you conceivably could have multiple turns in order to set up, and that it's a 2-card combo, both pieces of which are exceptionally searchable, it becomes clear that this is worth taking seriously. The only impediment to this deck's widespread success was how complicated executing these loops were, how unwilling individuals were to learn said loops because the skill you develop doesn't translate to other decks, and how long the deck took to execute its combo. It reminds me of another deck deck that we've taken a look at over the course of history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Gishki. Like that deck, this deck can conceivably take a 40-minute turn 1, advancing the game state every single time it performs a loop, meaning if an opponent is unwilling to scoop, you can kind of just spin your wheels and still maintain a proper pace of play the entire time. If you read old Reddit threads brainstorming how to engage with individuals who bring this to tournaments, many people suggest saying things like, "Could you play faster?" only to be met with, "The person I was playing against was playing at warp speed. They were not taking a half second in between each action. There's just a lot of actions you have to perform." Some individuals got into their head that you were only permitted 3 minutes per turn, and that a judge could come over and describe your combo as ludicrous, awarding you a game loss. I've never heard of this happening, and it seems ridiculous to even conceive of, but when you see this deck play out, you might understand why people were in that headspace. One final thing I want to make note of is that a lot of the cards we're playing to make sure that our combo goes through bear a striking resemblance to the cards that current Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks are playing to do the same thing. Copies of Book of Eclipse and Forbidden Lance. These cards were powerful back then, and they're powerful now, and it's shocking to see that some individuals were brewing with the same sensibilities that we have in terms of deck building today. Sometimes when we play a deck on the history of Jank, I say, this is like a combo deck from 2023, but this is like a combo deck from 2027. We are not here yet. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First up, 3 Armageddonites, self-explanatory to send Summoner Monk. 1 Blackwing Zephyros the Elite kind of just cleans up a lot of problem cases. Oh no, like I accidentally left too many material on field, or I need a card out of the field spell zone, or there's an Xyz that shouldn't be here. It really is a jack of all trades, and at worst is just a free extender. 3 Blue-Blooded Oni, 1 apiece of Dynatherium and Photon Thrasher. These are just free 4s. Mizuki, Plague Spreader Zombie, these are both critical. Mizuki to loop with Bujinti Amaterasu, and Plague Spreader Zombie, of course, to be the tuner for Tempest Magician. 2 Smunk and 2 Zombie Master. Also very mission critical, a way to get cards out of your hand that you've accidentally drawn, and also just a 4 Zombie, which it turns out is really important. 3 Black Garden. One thing I hadn't mentioned already is that a win condition with this card in a scenario where you don't want to go into time is just to clog your opponent on monsters. You make a bunch of summons after already committing to the board a significant amount. Your opponent has a bunch of 800 attack point monsters and nothing to do with them, and you just pass for a couple of turns until you're willing to actually commit to something that can get rid of the field. This card is incredibly powerful, incredibly frustrating to play against, and here is being used for its second effect that you may not have known it had, to cycle itself and all of the plant tokens to summon something with an attack equivalent to that number. 3 Terraforming, 3 Reinforcement of the Army, 3 Instant Fusion, Foolish Burial, Lure of Darkness, triple Upstart Goblin, triple Book of Eclipse, triple Lance, 1 Soul Charge, and a Raigeki in the side. We've got Exiled Force. It's a card that outs pretty much everything you can find off Rhoda. 3 Twister, 3 MST, 3 Cyclone, 3 Defusion, and 2 Dark Hole. In the extra, we've got 3 Laval Chain, 3 Emerald, 2 Utopic Future, 2 Direwolf, Exciton Knight, Ouroboros, Amaterasu, Tempest Magician, and Camion Wizard. One frustrating thing about this deck is that while Evil Swarm Exciton Knight is actually a combo piece in a lot of very particular lines, it's also just unbelievable that the deck gets to play it, Direwolf, F0. In gummy board states, you can just OTK an opponent by using the Blue-Blooded Onis not to FTK, but just to make a bunch of decently statted rank 4s. Lead with an Exciton Knight, and then follow it up with like an F0 and a couple of Daigusto Emeralds. That's a board almost nothing in this format can out anyway. So with that, here's Alex.
Well, I gotta be honest, I don't know why any of you care about the deck that I'm playing this episode, considering the deck that Joseph is playing means that we're probably not going to be playing the game at all. But anything can happen, and we do have a few cheesy ways to potentially win, so I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. Introducing Lord of the Red Infernoid. So the concept behind this deck is that Lord of the Red is a decent ritual card. You can only ritual summon it through traditional means. Once per turn when a card or effect is activated, except Lord of the Red, quick effect, target a monster on the field, destroy it. And once per turn when a card or effect is activated, except Lord of the Red, quick effect, target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. So that's pretty sick, right? As far as rituals go, this is definitely one of the better ones. And Red Eye's Transmigration is actually a decent ritual spell because you can tribute monsters from either your hand or field, or banish Red Eyes monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal 8 or more. So why are we playing this in Infernoid? Well, the whole concept behind this deck is that if we are able to... You know what I just realized? Lord of the Red isn't a Red Eyes monster. It is just Lord of the Red, not Lord of the Red Eyes, meaning the whole gimmick behind this deck for what I thought this was supposed to do actually doesn't work at all, and now I'm just confused. Is the purpose that you're just playing like Infernoid, so you just have giant things to sack off for Red Eyes Transmigration? Like, I guess the gimmick I thought here was that because if Lord of the Red could be Red Eyes Transmigration for itself, that you can mill it off of effects of like Monster Gate, 1-for-1, etc., and then you can Red Eyes Transmigration Lord of the Red for Lord of the Red from the graveyard, and then you effectively get to summon this guy out for free. But that doesn't even work. So, like, I don't get it. And it's funny, too, because if you think of this, like, during the time of when this deck would be playable, this is, like, during Nekroz format. So are you really going to play this ritual monster when, like, Nekroz of Trishul is still legal? I doubt it. So, in any case, let's do the card by card. I don't get it. You're just playing Lord of the Red just because you can. That's what I've boiled this down to. So, we got Noid. So, we've got Infernoid Antra. We've got Natundo. We have Decatron, Deviati, Harmodic, Onunku. Only one Petrulia, one Piety, two Purmias, one Saitsamas, and one Jet. Then, of course, we have 3 Lord of the Red. If you haven't seen Infernoid by this point, all these can just be summoned by banishing other Infernoids, essentially. They all require different amounts, and then they have varying effects depending on, like, what they are. They can, like, act as, like, quick effect DD Crows, which is kind of neat, and also just have, like, some pretty big stats. The one... stipulation is that you can't summon more than 8 stars worth of Infernoids on the field. So that is what it is. I mean, a lot of these guys, you'll probably see them come up in the match, hopefully, if we get to play it all. The spells, we have Monster Gate as well as Reasoning, because we can just skip over most of these things, so that's pretty sick. We've got 1-for-1, and then, of course, we have Red Eyes Transmigration. We have Void Imagination, and this is pretty cool because we can just dump as many monsters as we want for this, because since we're playing all the names, we can actually go for Infernoid Tierra, which is just insane. On its like highest effect, not to mention. Then we have Void Vanishment, which can search Void Imagination. It also makes, I believe, all of their... Oh, no. Imagination makes all their levels level 2 or higher become level 1, so that way you can just spam a bunch onto the field. And then we got Rekindling in here because I guess Decatron technically is a fire, and it works on special summon, so I kind of get it. The extra, of course, we just have Tierra, we have Herald of the Arclight, we have Felgrand, because maybe that'll come up. We've got Zulkin, Beals. For the extra, of course, we have Tierra, we have Herald, we've got Felgrand, we've got Zulkin, because maybe that'll randomly come up. We have Beals, Clearwing, Stardust Spark, Void Ogre, and Michael. And the side deck, this is where the cheese comes in. So because we're playing Monster Gate and Reasoning, since every Infernoid and Lord of the Red will whiff off of this card, Decatron's the only actual target, we can theoretically guarantee that we can hit any of these cards in our deck, assuming we don't hit a Decatron. So I guess you can kind of manipulate for that. So Christia is obviously just like no special summoning allowed. Mechanical Hound as well as Spell Canceller means there's no spells. Jinzo means there's no trap, so just like a cute thing that Infernoid's always been able to do. So against Joseph's deck, if we can summon Christia, that'd be hilarious. We have 3 Galaxy Cyclone, triple Breakthrough, triple MST, and double Lava Golem because we're playing Infernoid. We've always played Lava Golem in this deck for some random reason. But in any case, if we summon Lord of the Red, it'd be cool, but I just doubt we're going to be able to play. So grab your favorite snack, ladies and gentlemen, or grab your favorite pillow for that matter, because you might want to take a nap during this one. Let's not make you wait any longer. It's time to duel. You know, Joseph, I know you were this desperate to get out of the Jank tank, but I didn't know it was going to have to come to this. Blue-blooded Oni? Really? Is this what you're going to make us sit through today? God, I can't wait to just not play Yu-Gi-Oh! You better hope that you win the die roll, because otherwise I might be able to maybe interact with you.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but actually, you can assemble this over the course of multiple turns. So, like,
excellent.
You are going to have to kill me.
Great. Perfect. I'm glad. I think the audience will want to do that as well. Let's shout the patron, Ryan Towers. Thank you for the support. Got the hand up, buddy?
Sure.
You're probably gonna fucking win. I rolled a 5, and you probably put up a 4 for the number of stars on Oni.
I actually put up a 90 for the steps that I'm gonna have to do during this thing.
Okay. That's an even number. That means I win. Cool.
But no, that's the opposite. If you roll the odd number, and then I have the even number.
You win. Okay. Well, whatever. Fine. All right. I'm gonna take a nap. I need a sleeping mask, or I need a blanket. I need something, because I'm just gonna be sitting here. Go ahead. Let's see it.
All right. Thinking?
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to play a little faster, please. We only have so many minutes in the video.
Now, you're allowed to ask. I'm not considering abiding here. Okay. We're going to begin with the... Oh, let me draw for turn. Okay, that didn't change anything. Terraforming.
Sure.
Okay.
Excellent. Anytime you see Black Garden, you know good things are going to happen. I guess that means I technically get to interact.
We're going to keep this in hand for the moment. Normal Zephyros. Activate Black Garden.
Excellent.
And we'll make Laval Chain.
All right, this is my first token. Do we have Black Garden tokens in here? I gotta be honest, I don't know what the fuck Black Garden tokens look like. This is a rose. I'm gonna pick that. I know that's not. It looks better.
That's good. That's literally a rose token. That's what you summon.
These are rose tokens. Okay, yeah, maybe I did pick the right one.
All right, I'm gonna detach the Zephyros, and we are going to send a Summoner Monk to the graveyard.
Okay, you do that. My lovely wife brought me a blanket, so I'm just going to get ready here.
All right, we're going to activate Black Garden in order to cycle itself for the Smunk in the graveyard, because it's 800 attack.
Sure. I forgot to get a token from this.
No, you just get the 1, and then I'll tribute the 1 for the Black Garden.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'm already missing steps here.
Black Garden's no longer on the field, so you're not going to get any more, so feel free to take a little nap.
Trust me, I'm getting ready.
We are going to go Summoner Monk here for a Summoner Monk. And then we'll go Summoner Monk for Blue-Blooded Oni.
Sure.
Okay, these two are going to become Laval Chain.
Oh, this card's not limited. Excellent.
It's also not once per turn. Isn't that neat?
I have a pillow now, too. Isn't this great?
All right, we're going to send a Blue-Blooded Oni here. So I'm going to have to start denoting which Oni is used and which isn't.
You do that.
Okay, we are going to use this Oni to detach an Xyz material and target an Oni from grave and summon it. All right, we're going to go Zephyros. Take 4 here. Or the opposite, rather.
I forgot I have to actually interact with the client, otherwise I'm going to get kicked out. So.
Is that true? That's very funny. We'll go Chain. Chain, detach Oni for Oni. Oni for Oni, and then Oni for Oni. We'll make Utopic Future. We're going to use the 2 spent Onis here for Chain. We're going to send Zombie Master. And then we're going to go Oni for Oni. Like this, and then Oni for Oni. So one of these change will still be under the Utopic Draco Future. Let's just correct that real quick. In paper, you could probably get away with a lot here.
Probably.
Okay, so now I know what you're thinking. Chain might not be at 1, but it is at 3. Well, I've got great news. Emerald is legal. We'll go Oni here. I think we get Zombie Master? No, because we still need Oni. So we'll just go Emerald here. And then we'll go Oni for Oni. Pitching the Laval Chain that was attached to the Utopic Draco Future. Then we'll go Daigusto Emerald, put back Laval Chain, and... What do you think would be a fun thing to put back? Let's put back...
Huh?
Sorry?
Oh, no. I thought you asked me something. I was dozing off.
We'll put back Dinotherium, and we'll draw a card. Okay, next we're going to overlay Emerald and Laval Chain for... this guy, Oni for Oni. Okay, and now we'll use the 2 used Onis to make Diamond Direwolf.
Oh, we're making someone new.
Yeah, exciting. Don't get excited. The reason I'm doing that is so I can activate Direwolf to target Utopic Future.
So you just need a clear space on your own board.
Like I was saying, Oni for Oni, Oni for Oni. Oh, we'll use one of the Onis off the Direwolf so that we retain one of them. And then we'll use the 2 spent Onis for... This is really going to blow your gourd out of the water. It's a card called Laval Chain.
Excellent. Glad this card's legal.
This time we're going to send Plagues to the grave. See, we're making progress.
Slowly, yes.
And then we're going to go Oni for Oni. You know what, actually? Let's go Oni for Zombie Master. Zombie Master for Oni.
Just to get Mizuki in the grave. Why not?
And then Emerald.
And guess what? Emerald can recycle Emerald. Isn't that cute?
You know what else is cute is Oni for Oni. But yes, we're going to go Emerald, target Utopic Future, Diamond, Direwolf, and Emerald. Let's go Utopic Future, Oni for Oni, the used Onis for Diamond Dire, Oni for Oni. And you might recognize that this is the exact same board state. That we have weaseled our way into the same board state that we were at 30 seconds ago.
Are we establishing a loop?
We're establishing the first loop. So we've made from
establishing my first nap.
We've made from our first original board to this board, which can perform that original board every singular time, but each time activating the effect of Emerald to draw exactly one card. We can do this as many times as necessary in order to theoretically draw our entire deck.
Okay. Would you like to theoretically draw as many cards as you would like until you need to establish the second loop?
No, I'm good. Let's just pretend to play face up. From here we can just Direwolf, so we get in this position, Oni for Oni, and then we'll pop the one without material. Rather than use one of these Onis for Oni, we'll use it for Zombie Master, and then we'll use the Zombie Master for Oni, pitching a card that we've drawn off the top of our deck, which I'll do until I draw a monster. There we go. Okay, this is a cool place to be. Next, the second part of the loop. We'll use Zombie Master and the two used Onis for Bujinti Amaterasu.
I'm with you.
And then Oni for Oni. And then we're going to go Oni for Mizuki. The point of Amaterasu, are you ready for this?
Nope.
Is that we can theoretically cycle Mizuki, and it's 3 materials rather than 2. So there's a number of ways from this position that I can win the game. The first,
there?
Yeah, I know, shocking. The first is I could theoretically just blackguarding you and fill up your board with nonsense. But there exists a second way as well. I think for the benefit of moving this along, I'll show the most expedient way. Just like we can infinitely make the 3 material Bujinti Amaterasu, we can also infinitely make this card. Evil Swarm Ouroboros.
Why speed it up? I got a pillow. I got a blanket. I'm chilling.
I want it, well, because I want to show another way to FTK in game 3.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
All right.
Well, you might get to do it in game 2, because I guarantee my deck's not killing you next turn. All right.
So
what are we doing with Ouroboros?
We'll just activate it an infinite number of times. An Evil Swarm Ouroboros, once per turn, allows you to detach an Xyz from this card and take a card from your hand and put it into the graveyard.
So am I just discarding my whole hand?
If you wouldn't mind.
Sure, I'll do it for you.
Oh,
I actually get to interact.
These are some cool ones. Oh,
I mean, you're putting my Infernoids in the graveyard. I appreciate it.
So, by keeping a Blue-Blooded Oni in rotation, we can, of course, use their effects to go Blue-Blooded Oni for Blue-Blooded Oni. Any 2/4s, of course, can make a Utopic Future, which we can then detach for Blue-Blooded Oni. Theoretically, we can get to this position infinitely. And then here's a fun fact about Evil Swarm Ouroboros. It also has the ability to banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. So I would also like to take all of those Infernoids out.
You don't want to get rid of the spells, too, while you're at it?
Yeah, I'm good.
What if I have Spell Striker?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. We will do that, too.
Or Magical Explosion. You know, I am playing a mill deck.
And then, let's just draw a million cards. And let's end on... to add insult to injury, I don't think there's anything relevant you could theoretically do from this position, but let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure.
Cool. Fun game.
Was it? I thought it was fun.
Oh, gotta say, Joseph, I had a great nap while you were performing the FTK. How the fuck we've done some FTKs on these series, don't get me wrong, but wow. That is death by 1,000 cuts if I've ever seen it. That was miserable.
The best part is the one that I executed while we skipped a shitload of steps, theoretically can just go to time. The Emerald advances the board state by adding an additional card to your hand, so there's no impetus for you to scoop, but your opponent kind of has to once they see the writing on the wall, or else you're just going to take 40 minutes to hand loop them.
Okay, let's start with 1/1. Let's get rid of this Antra.
Sure.
We will go for Decatron. Decatron's effect is on summon, so we'll do that. We will dump ourselves the effect negator, which I believe is Deviati. Then, yeah, this should be fine. We'll monster gate the Decatron.
Sure.
See how long it takes for us to hit a card. What's happening, Joseph? I'm not hitting any cards here.
Oh, keep milling.
What could possibly be going wrong here? I can't hit a card. I just can't seem to hit anything. It's so bizarre. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that?
Uh-oh.
Interesting. I'm glad that you can also have fun in this game as well. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, no. Yep.
All right. Oh, come on. God damn it. All right, 28.
Yeah.
Go.
I've got stuff. Let's go foolish. We will send... Jesus Christ. Well, I guess we'll send plagues. Or, Mizuki, rather.
No Pero Serper.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping. I'm going to activate nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. The best part of this for you is that I don't think I have any normal summonable monsters in this deck. All right, now we have to start hitting. And now the problem is I might just deck out.
Terraforming?
Okay. This is bad. Yeah, I think I'm just going to die to deck out this way. This is humiliating.
We're going to see. Ooh, that's not good.
We'll get in. Go ahead.
This is good. Upstart. Rhoda?
Clearly, you might be running low on monsters if you're having to use Rhoda and such.
We are, I'll tell you, we are running low on monsters.
Okay.
Good.
It's working. That is pressure. Normal Decatron.
Is it actually pressure? Yeah.
It is. Do I even want to use this effect? Now, let me think about this. The problem with, I don't think any Infernoid. Well, first of all, do I even have Infernoids left on my deck? I do. Okay. The problem is oh no, this works perfectly because I can send this Harmadic and then Decatron gains the effect. So I can use this to pop your monster and then gain you.
That is true. All right. Well,
that was fun. That was
well,
fun.
Yeah. Go to hell, buddy.
Go to hell! You're playing the fucking FTK.
You know, at least mine took... Oh, my God. Oh, man. All right. Here we go. As
you got
it were. I do have it.
Oh, great.
Terraforming.
Right. Should I get the blanket back? No, that's okay. Go ahead. You're fine.
Activate. Normal Armageddon Knight.
I'll get my Rose token.
Armageddon Knight effect. Get that Rose token off the goddamn field.
It's out of here.
Smunk.
Yep.
Smunk effect.
Sure.
Smunk effect for blue-blooded Oni.
He has returned.
Make blue-blooded Oni. All right, Laval Chain.
Let the fun begin.
We are going to send a blue-blooded Oni. I actually may have to do this differently. In fact, I do. We'll send Zombie Master. Oni. Zombie Master. As you may have expected. Okay.
Can you do that with Zombie Master? You don't have another zombie engraved, sir.
That's true. We could just do this. Laval Chain?
Yeah, trying to cheat here.
I literally am. Zombie Master.
Yeah, this works. This works.
Oni for Oni.
Yes.
Okay.
Never made mistakes in this series.
Oni for Oni. This is so fun!
It's funny, too, because I think I remember doing a deck profile for this while you're doing everything. I think I remember who the person I was interviewing saying that, like, even if they have, like, Valor or whatever hand traps are out at the time, because this is before most hand traps existed where we're at in history of Jank. Like, the good ones, anyway, that people know, like Ash, Ogre, and all that. Like, it doesn't even matter most of the time. Like, you can play through it all.
Yeah, each individual card in the hand is just another way to play through it. It's very frustrating. Yeah. All right, I mean, we'll use...
And even if, like, you max see them, they just deck you. It actually expedites how fast the combo goes.
We'll go Laval Chain here.
Sure.
Laval Chain, fucking, I don't know. Mizuki, Oni for Oni, the used Oni, and the Zombie Master for Emerald. Oni for
cycle.
Oni. Oh my god. We'll use this Oni for Oni, and we'll go Emerald. We'll just put back some shit. Pretty good draw.
I know you just have the audience on their toes, Joseph, wondering what's the slow and painful way to kill me? Because the first way was clearly too fast.
That's actually very true. Oni for Oni. The 2 spent Onis here for Diamond Direwolf. Oni for Oni. Then Direwolf target the dead Utopic Future. And then Oni for Oni! Okay. Next up, let's actually keep this one on. Here's what we'll do. Kind of trying to freestyle this a little bit, which is not a good idea. All right. Oni for Oni. We're going to banish Mizuki for Zombie Master. Let's go the 2 Oni that we've used and the Zombie Master for Bujinti Amaterasu. Detach the Zombie Master here, and we'll special Mizuki. Here's a play you probably haven't seen before, Oni for Oni.
Haven't seen that. No, that's new.
We'll use the used Blue-Blooded Oni and the Mizuki for Diamond Direwolf. Oni for Oni. Direwolf targeting itself in the Utopic Future. Oni for Oni. The used Oni for Emerald. We're going to put back F0, Direwolf, and the Emerald that's engraved. We'll draw. Oni for Oni. Utopic Future. Oni for Oni. The 2 used Oni, we're going to go for Emerald. Let's go Emerald. We'll throw back F0, Emerald, and let's throw back a Laval Chain. Oni for Oni. And Oni for Oni. What a fun game.
Isn't it? It's great.
2 spent Onis for Emerald. Let's go Emerald for Amaterasu, Direwolf, and we'll throw back the other Laval Chain. You may see where this is going.
There's a chance.
Oni for Oni. Gonna make another Utopic Future. Oni for Oni. And then the 2 used Onis for Diamond Direwolf. Oni for Oni. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Direwolf effect. So as you can see, this one just goes on forever. We've now gotten back to the point we were at the start. So how do I want to do this? Let's do this combo indefinitely until I've drawn the deck. Oh, it doesn't let me do that. It's like, sorry. Maybe not even the deck. There it is. All right, over the course of executing the combo, we'll use Zombie Master's effect to send a Plague Spreader to the graveyard. And now, activate Instant Fusion.
Okay, first time we're seeing this.
I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, this is so crazy. What could be coming out of this powerful card that we tried so hard to get? You got it, Camion Wizard.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do 2 of the spent Onis for Emerald. Oni for Oni. Oni for Oni. Oni for Oni. Here we'll draw the remainder of our deck so that this gets easier to look at. Overlay these 2 for... Let's do Laval Chain. We'll activate Plagues here.
Okay.
Let's put this card on top of the deck. And then we will Synchro Summon Tempest Magician.
Oh my god.
What?
15,000 damage?
Yeah, is that lethal?
Yeah, I would guess that it is. Boy, this was so
this
fun.
This fucking rocked, dude!
I'm really glad we decided to show this deck off. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, I guess a lot to talk about.
I mean, the sad part is because this deck, I mean, arguably during this time, this is like one of the best decks you could be playing. The problem is no sane human could actually probably play this in a tournament setting competently for the course of like 13, 14 rounds. Your brain would just explode midway through round 3. It's impossible. Also, that would assume that your opponent doesn't just, like, get up and punch you in the face for playing something like this, too. Nonetheless, it's incredible that a deck like this competent existed during this time. I mean, think about what else is out during this time. What? We're in, like, 2015? 2015. So this is, what? Like Necroz's format, I think?
I think this is a little earlier because they end up hitting Laval Chain, but...
Right.
It's like Duelist Alliance, like Cosmo or BA Shadow, you know, all these great decks are legal. Yeah, like you said, the only thing preventing this from being like widespread was the fact that it's disastrous. Similar to how Gishki was like a powerhouse, despite the fact that like no one was really willing to play it. This was the same, except the deck was like really good. Arguably much better than Gishki in context.
Yeah, it's interesting because, yeah, like I think it's mainly due to the fact that the Gishkis are rituals at the end of the day, and like Blue-Blooded Oni actually just plays like good cards. Like you could make the argument that the worst card you're playing, which sounds weird, is Blue-Blooded Oni in a way. It's obviously like the best card in the deck, because obviously without it, the deck wouldn't function, but it's essentially like your equivalent to playing a ritual monster, if you will. Because unless you're like actually manipulating the combo and like going off, it doesn't really do a whole lot. But aside from that, you are playing a bunch of just other random bullshit that's just like general good stuff. Like you're playing Monks, you're playing Armageddon Knight, you're playing random just rank 4 turbo good cards, right? Like that's fine. Like that can get away with actually winning games normally. But then when you throw in this little bat here, it just takes it up to a completely different level. And I'm glad that something like this existed because it's cool to see that it existed. But I also hate the fact that this exists. But this is like one of the most Yu-Gi-Oh! Combos I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, like you said, with the exception of Blackgarden, which even had some utility during this format because it like clogs your opponent's field, right? It's a time before links. There aren't bad cards in this deck. I guess like Dynatherium and Photon Thrasher are kind of mid.
Technically.
But they're free for material. Like people were playing these unironically in good decks. When you look at the cards that this deck is playing in order to get around some of the more powerful cards in the format that would like prevent you from summoning, some of the more powerful back row in the format, like Fiendish Chain that could trade for like a Laval Chain. It's the same type of stuff that decks like Kashtira are playing today. You know, it's Forbidden Lance, it's Book of Eclipse, it's Mystical Space Typhoon. This was one of the first of the decks that's just like, no, I'm going to jam the combo through eventually, and you're just going to sit there for it. Like you said, it can just win the game on its own. Like a lot of these cards are just really good. You get into a position where you're actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And you can use Evil Swarm Exciton Knight at any point to just like equalize the board state, and then, oh, what do you know? If this guy's got one material remaining on it, and that material is a Blue-Blooded Oni, you do actually just win the game from that position.
Exactly.
It's a frighteningly competent deck that was very capable of just taking 3 turns to set up the FTK and then just like executing it. Was at any point able to just switch all their monsters to attack position and kill you. In something like 80 or 90% of hands could produce a board that, if uninterrupted, would rip every card out of your hand, banish them all, and then burn you for 9 million. And in doing so, played 0 bad cards. And that's like, really, one of the most frightening FTK decks ever conceived, stopped only by the fact that it was incomprehensible to anyone without like a PhD.
Yeah, I mean, truly one of Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest what-ifs, right? It'd be interesting now with how players have evolved, because this deck is almost like, we're going on the verge of this deck being a decade old. It'd be interesting with how competent players are now if they went back and looked at this deck in the context of the format and were able to even improve upon this, right?
Yeah.
It didn't really get much attention outside of, you know, limited circles, just because A, it was, most people were just turned off by it because of the complexity, but B, the format was sort of wrapping up. Like, this sort of came to be around like Nat season, and then at that point the format just entirely shifts because we get new core sets, we get a new ban list, and then it's sort of just, I mean, we know like Laval Chain gets hit, Daigusto Emerald get hit, and like without those cards this deck can't really function. So I don't know, it's interesting to go and always look back at these decks, you know, we don't forget them, like Dark Matter Dragon.
Yeah,
we haven't really talked about my deck, and that's because there's really not a ton to talk about. I'm literally just playing Infernoid with Lord of the Red, which is like the kind of the highlight here. I had the opportunity to summon this if I didn't have a Christia up, because just because we were able to, but like, on paper, this guy isn't bad. Like, once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you literally just target and destroy a monster. Like, That's pretty good. Or a spell or trap for that matter. But I mean, monsters are typically what you're going for. Yeah, it's Noid. We've seen Noid a few times on this channel. It's not really like there's a whole lot else to talk about.
Oh, Noid. Yeah, no, Lord of the Red was a really cool boss monster for Red Eyes. It was the card that a lot of Red Eyes players thought would like make the deck playable. It is really strong. It like trades for a spell trap and trades for a monster, which is sick.
The theory is that like with Infernoid, you mill another Lord of the Red, so then you can like pay the cost for it, so then it's basically free. Which kind of makes sense, right? Because like ritual monsters that aren't named Necros during this time, like just good luck. But as far as ritual monsters go, the effect on this card is actually quite strong. And so it's not surprising to see that this like card didn't see a lot of play, just because like, would you play this or you want to play Necros, right? It's like, there's really not much of a discussion there.
But when we get into like Cecil era formats in like 2020, a deck we will be exploring in Jank is like the Ritual Good Stuff pile that occasionally did feature this card. It's just like, it fills a very specific niche in that deck. So it may not be the last you see of Lord of the Red.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout out to Shout1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Medolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, Phoenix the Immortal, Pony Stark, The Synchro Guy, Dan the Man Hoban, Draconic, Little Fadeleaf, Dylan Hunter, Cody Brett's Extremely Vulgar Man, Brody Eastwood, Flannel Daddy, Twinkle Muncher, Matthew Brady, Helios515. I've tried reading cards before. It was horrible and my guinea pigs had to get me therapy. Cheeks McLaperty, Stolfin Amethyst, Wonder Waffle, MBT Cancel Bio Community soon, Cancel Bio Committee soon, Cancel Bio Players soon, Uncle Brian of Stardust, Nicholas Carpenter, Corvain, and Peyton McGrath. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.